Hi, this is Rochelle with Live in Vibrancy, and today I'm going to do another video in a series that I'm doing answering questions that I've either seen in my group or in the comments that kind of touch on topics, some of the bigger topics that benefit more people. So this one is, this one is more or less on sitting with feelings. And the question was, is it adequate to just breathe through a trigger? Or should I be sitting with the feelings? And so there was mixed opinions, and neither of them is wrong or right. So breathing when you're triggered, like breathing your way through that to emotionally regulate is fantastic. Breathing can really help you move through stressful moments, particularly because we tend to hold our breath when we're stressed. Box breathing is a really great way when you find yourself like overwhelmed. And so that's essentially, so breathe in through 4. You choose your own duration. I'm just randomly picking 4. So breathe in for 4, hold for 4, release for 4, hold for 4. And you just keep doing that. And that will help you become more clear-headed so that you can essentially move through whatever it is that you're moving through. There's other breathing techniques, but that's not what this video is about. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, so sitting with feelings. This one, no, the answer is you don't need to sit with your feelings, but there are a few reasons you may want to consider sitting with your feelings. So first off, I just want to recognize not every life moment is really appropriate for sitting with your feelings. You may be triggered in a moment where it's just not appropriate to say like, wait, I need to be with myself. So you have to find what's right for you. So sitting with your feelings is never a necessity. However, one of the key concepts in manifesting is being able to think in possibility. And so yes, taking a few like deep inhale, exhales will allow you to move out of like fear and doubt and into a more expansive feeling and into possibility. However, what happens is that you don't necessarily effectively move the emotions and the story through. You actually might suppress them or repress them, like just think another thought. So that's not always very effective. In fact, a lot of times what that can actually be is essentially just putting whipped cream on a big old mud pie and saying it's chocolate. And it's not. It's still mud. And eventually that mud's coming up. So you want to be sitting with your feelings because this allows you to really, first of all, develop a presence, like a present state of awareness within yourself. And so this is really important because this allows you to be more aware of what is going on. Get into like vibrational alignment with what it's like to have your manifestation and consistently be there. So being aware of what's going on, being present with what's happening internally allows you to really do that. It also ensures that you catch your emotions and your thoughts before they essentially take over and Thelma and Louise your dreams. Right? So learning to master yourself, and I talk about this a lot, it's not about suppressing or repressing emotions. It's learning to manage your reactions so that they are delivered as responses. Okay, so, and just suppressing what's coming up, this actually keeps the story and the emotions alive. And when you push on energy, you create a bomb. And so often what happens is people who are really reactive have a lot of suppressed emotions, whether it's anger or sadness. And so sitting with the feelings actually allows you to begin to clear this so that you are triggered far less often. Now, this present state of awareness, this is like part of embodiment work, right? That's kind of the primary key of embodiment work is being able to embody the person that has it. Therefore, you need to be connected to who you're embodying. So another reason to sit with your feelings is you learn to come to be with yourself. You learn to peel back that illusion of who you think you are and what you think is possible for you. Because the reality is, the narrative that you're running, that you're so identified with, that you actually think it's true for you, it's true reality, how many things is this keeping out of your life? Because that is the biggest lie that we tell ourselves. And we do it usually in order to avoid a feeling. When you're resisting something, it's because you don't want to experience a feeling. And what you really don't want to experience is that painful, crappy story that you've attached to the feeling. But that feeling that you're resisting, you end up drawing it into your life anyway. So when you're just willing to sit with that and experience that feeling, you actually have the ability to release the blocks that are connected to it. So this is what it means when they say the way the way past your blocks is through them. It's essentially, a lot of times we are trying not to feel something, and so we resist it and we resist it, and it actually just continues to run. And so just by sitting with it and allowing it to be there, your body has intelligent design. It naturally knows how to move the energy through as an open system. We're going to have a cat fight in a minute. If you're not resisting the feeling or in your head about it, it passes within under 2 minutes. Now, if you have a more active narrative going on about it, or maybe multiple narratives going on connected to that feeling, then you're more likely it's going to linger. But here's the thing. Sitting with the feelings is one way to experience the emotion, right, all the way through, so that not only do you allow it to move through your body, but you can begin to see the story you're telling. All you have to do is take the observer position. So the second reason to sit with the emotions, and I guess maybe that's 3 or 4 already, but so another reason to sit with your emotions is that essentially you're changing the relationship to your own feelings within your body. So a lot of time what's happening is heightened emotions and stress, they actually play a role in not only forming limiting stories, but also recalling the memories connected to these limiting stories and the stories. And so stress is not the problem, it's your relationship to stress that's the issue. So because what's stressful to one person is completely manageable to another. And so sitting with the feeling actually shows your body that this nervous system trigger can be in your body and you can be okay. You can be there and you're still okay. You're literally actually rewiring yourself to be able to move more easily through circumstances. And people who create powerfully in their own lives, they don't let themselves get sucked into negative narratives for very long, if at all. And so creating positive outcomes happens when you're projecting energy of possibility into your future. So now if you're in this negative story, you're basically projecting, like, whether it might be a old, broke, hurt, lonely, whatever version of yourself into your future. It's basically the version of yourself that you're afraid to be, and you're creating through this one. And so a lot of times what happens when you're creating through this like limited version of you, you're essentially trying to manifest something to save that self that you're afraid of becoming. And this is actually really self-suppressive. So doing something in order to get away from something negative is self-suppressive, essentially because there's an inherent negative feeling that's running underneath. You're literally judging yourself while also trying to create something good in your life. So also recognize that version of you that's running that really limited narrative, it doesn't have a lot of reasons to believe that it can happen. It's incongruent with what you want to create. And so you want to let that version go. And that's another reason that you sit with your emotions. basically, it's not to start like digging around in there and see like, and this is what your brain is going to want to do because that's what it does. It looks for problems, it looks for reasons, but it's all within this box. This is also part of the reason people can kind of get stuck in shadow work, but that's for another video. So anyway, the purpose of sitting with your emotions is not to start digging around and like, ooh, that's why I'm this way. No, it's to let it go. It's literally a let go of the narrative of a dreary little ego that essentially created this story when at a time that's not happening anymore. So each time you retell this story about yourself, you're actually literally re-traumatizing yourself with this story. And so that's the purpose of sitting with the feelings, is to recognize what is holding you back and then let it go. Because creating something in your life, it's not about looking around and focusing on all the reasons that it can't happen. And trust me, I have done this. You don't want to look at you don't even want to put your energy there at all. Instead, you want to be focusing, meet your resistance. That's the first thing you want to do. And then go internally and decide powerfully in your own life to transcend all of that. All of those stories, because they're not you. And honestly, once you begin to see them, they're no longer in part of your identity. You're no longer identified with them, because a great aspect of, and great, I mean large, aspect of many people's identities, the limited versions, the false identity, are essentially the stories they tell about the things that have happened to them. And they just project this and project this and project this into the future consistently and consistently. Because whatever you haven't let go of from the past, you will project into your future. And so this is the purpose of sitting with your emotions. You are the hero in your own story. You are not the NPC. Instead of asking why not, ask yourself, what do I need to let go of to consistently feel like, of course this is mine? So until next time, live like you can't fail.